Good morning, my people, good afternoon and good evening. It is wonderful to see you to a very extremely chilled out session to get the weekend going with a nice round of a monsters expedition through a series of puzzling exhibitions. Isn't that a handful of a title? One of those things. Mr. Michael, Mr. Chris, Mr. Brian, Mr. Jeremy, it is wonderful to see you. And anyone else who's out there watching, thank you for joining me. Brian, your suspicion was absolutely correct because it's the first day of the season pass today. And as such, I really want to nail this. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you who've purchased the season pass, it's a pleasure and a privilege for me to do this, and it's a series of 3 parts of how we build a pirate scene, and it's going to look great. There's a lot of stuff to do, and I'm breaking it all down into how you can approach a fairly medium complex scene and break it down into little blocks and save it out in your own library, and then we're going to tackle this one weekend after the other. And hence, your suspicion was correct. I've been doing so much 3D stuff this week in preparation for that, and also on my personal stuff, that I thought, literally up until the last minute, up until 9 o'clock this morning, I was thinking maybe I should cancel today's stream. Am I really up for it? I don't really want to, use up all my energy that I obviously need to bring into the season pass stream. But then I thought, you know what, canceling isn't a good idea. Maybe what I should do instead, I should go and we should hang out together and have something like a chilled out session, because I don't like canceling at all. I'd rather do something else that doesn't take up so much energy and that still gives us an opportunity to hang out. So I hope you are okay with that. It was either this or just not doing it at all. I was thinking, no, I don't want to not do it at all. I want to hang out with you, and it's one of those things. I feel like these Saturday and Sunday mornings have become really important for me, and by the sounds of it, to you as well. So I don't want to let anyone down. So that's why I thought, let's do a puzzle game. And thank you so much for subscribing, Corey. I really appreciate that. How are you all this morning? I picked this game up, by the way, and this is one of those games that can run in the background while we discuss, more important things, such as, making money from your passions and all that. Very, very important topic. And I think we have never had as much of an opportunity to do this as we have today with things like YouTube and game development engines and all that. Let me just go see if I'm on the right audio output here. I think I am. This game, I bought this for $2.99 on the Epic Store. It is currently a few bob off on Steam, I think. It's made by Draknek and Friends. They have quite a few of these games out there. One is called, this one here, A Good Snowman is Hard to Build. It uses similar mechanics. There's also Cosmic Express, very much enjoy this. And A Monsters Expedition is kind of their latest one. And it is seriously chilled out. I know the composer, she is called Eli Rainsbury, and I remember her from a game called, there we go, haha, got music, from a game called Wilmot's Warehouse. That was equally exciting and equally chilled out. Maybe we'll play that next time. Hang out, relax, and save your 3D energy from exactly where it counts, exactly. Because it's a great example, actually, about how do you make money from your passions. And well, there we go, we've got controller inputs, perfect. And I'm literally of the opinion, to start a new game, that it will happen if you just follow your passions through and through. And I think we're all kind of doing that. And I think we've never lived in a more exciting time than today, where we can reach a large audience with things like our own websites and YouTube and Twitch and all the distribution things that we ourselves can put out. So it's kind of funky to think about this. So the industry has certainly changed, and book writing is probably one of the best examples of how the industry has completely changed. And yeah, now it's up to us to kind of do something with it. So look at that. We're a little black, cute little monster, and we are experiencing a very large exhibition, it looks like. I can move over trees and then go to the next island, which is kind of cool. I like it. So this seems to be extremely simple, but it is seriously tough, because you can only push the trees into one direction. You can't move through rocks like this. And he is extremely cute. He's got this little backpack, and we don't really know what's in it, but there, you can do that, and then head over to the next island. And if I mess it up like this and the log wasn't supposed to be here, I can either go and undo this step by step so it remembers the steps I've taken, or I can also reset the whole island like this. Let me know if the music is too loud or too quiet. I can always crank it up or turn it down. See one of those things? Yes, it is, absolutely, it is a double-edged sword. Because back in the days, I always remember this analogy with the music industry, where you're being paid, or authors, exactly the same thing. You were paid by the publishing company a certain amount of advance, and that would allow you to do the creative work. And then in return, they take a huge portion of the proceeds before you get anything left over. But also, they do all the marketing. They vet you. Are you actually any good? Are you likely to succeed in this niche? And all that is kind of gone, which is kind of cool on one hand, but on the other, all that help that these people like publishing companies, record companies, and all those types of peripheral industries used to give you, that is now down to us to make that happen. And how do you do that? It's a big question mark. Mr. Neville, Miss Julia, top of the morning. Very good to see you. Hello, adventurers. Yes. Museum for Humans, scale model. Humans preferred their museums to be indoors. This initially seemed baffling to monsters, especially given the amount of dusting we avoided keeping objects outside. Experts have recently suggested that keeping objects indoors may have been part of England's efforts to hide and store museums' collections of stolen property. Interesting. I suppose our gig is to get over here onto this island. Everything that's covered in clouds is currently unexamined. We haven't explored yet. So this tree needs to go over there. I'm thinking this way. No, not a good idea. Maybe this way. Move this over here. And then reach the next island. We don't always have exhibition pieces like this, but there are quite a few. And it's seriously funny how they thought about what other species might think of us humans in the future once we've all died out. That's kind of the gist of it. So sometimes you see these things that when you move a tree like this, you can't then go and knock on to it over here. You can walk over it, and you can move it into a direction, but you have to have something that stops it from rolling. Otherwise, if I roll it this way, it'll just roll into the water, and we don't want it to do that. So we need to go and move it over here. And then, hopefully, make sure we push it all the way over here. Reach the next island. There's about 500 of these islands, so we're probably not going to make it through today. But so I'm going to need your help. I don't know where I am in this game, but I think maybe 20% in or something, and it's getting seriously difficult at one point. What's this then? Plinth. Do you know plinth? It was a word I didn't even know what that was. Humans like to put objects on boxes called plinths. Interesting. At first, Monster Expert didn't know why, but then strangers kept thinking the plintless exhibits were lost property and handing them in at the help desk. It turns out plinths are very important. I see. That's interesting. Yeah, so this is already a puzzling one. I can use this to stop the tree. Oh yeah. Can't go all the way over here, so that's not good. Can only go over here, but then how am I going to get back? Ah yes, like so. That'll do it. Another island down. I like it. Oh, is that so? You can't even do that. How crazy is that? Meg Twin, good morning. Good to see you. You have to go through an agent. Oh, okay. So this is essentially their way of outsourcing the whole thing of splitting the wheat from the chaff. This is one thing that that used to be bad about when the industry was at a point where if I submit my manuscript and it turns out to be not something they reckon would sell, they wouldn't take me on. But somebody has to go through this process to say, is this good or is this not good? There's this guy, Sid Field, I think. He's dead now, but he wrote this whole thing about a book about, well, many books about how the 3-act structure kind of works. And he was basically the guy who was reviewing scripts in Hollywood. And he was looking at these things saying, this script isn't going to work, this script isn't going to work. But 1 in 10 or so would have a chance with a rewrite to kind of make it into something that the Hollywood guys could use. And he deduced that they all fell into this one category, that they summed up the entire movie, the 2-hour movie, in the first 10 minutes of the script. And that's basically kind of the introductory contract that you make with the audience. If you like the first 10 minutes, it's likely that you're going to like the rest of the whole movie. But if you don't, then you don't. And so it's a bit like that, I suppose, in the publishing industry, that this agent now is the person who goes, look, you're not going to make it as an author. Yes, I can't really make money out of how you've written this book, so sorry. But if he says, yes, I think I can make money out of this, I'm going to push this forward to the publishing company, and if they think they can make money out of it, that is then how you get a traditional publishing contract, I guess. That's crazy, Brian. I didn't know that. But now I remember a friend of mine 20 years ago, he had something like a similar experience, that he had an agent, and the agent said, hey, we can't approach a publisher if you have 1 manuscript. To make this a worthwhile affair, what we're going to have to do is you're going to have to not only have a ready-made manuscript, you're also going to have one basically that you're working on. We want to see another 3 ideas at least of where you're going to go with this in the future. And if we think there's potential there, then I'm going to put you forward. So this is interesting parallel there. So we have 2 ways to go. Over here, that was easy. And, oh, backpack. Look at that. Good stuff. Human backpack. Human backpacks look a lot like monster backpacks. But if you open one up, you can see that they are exactly as big on the inside as they are seen from the outside, implying humans never quite mastered basic dimensional design theory. Yeah, I guess we didn't. Publishers rely on the agents to filter out the riffraff. Exactly. Right, and the self-publishing companies, they're much like not companies at all. They just go, hey, thanks for your manuscript. We do what you could probably figure out yourself, but we're going to charge you a bit of money for it. Yeah, it's crazy. Can we do this? Yes, I think this is how this works. Aha! New island reached. Exciting. Exactly, that kind of like Harry Potter's tent, exactly. Yes, I think what I would like to see, and I don't know if I'm sure these services are out there. I don't know much about book publishing, even though I've published 2 books myself, but it was as easy as clicking the upload button. I'm sure there are services that used to also come with big publishing companies that were the editor, for example. If you have a good editor, that really makes a good book. The writer does the writing, but the editor tells them how to write it so that it becomes something that is hopefully going to sell a lot of copies. It's a bit of a weird one, because on one hand, this is extremely nice guidance to become a better writer, but at the same time, you might also become the tool for somebody who wants you to write in a certain way just so that they can make money, but that might not align with your creative vision. So I suppose, and this is why this is such an important topic for all of us, I guess, how do we align these 2 things? How do we make something that makes you happy as a person doing your creative thing, and that makes the audience happy at the same time? Because if you find that magic formula, I suppose then you don't really need people helping you with that. If you strike that intersection of I'm 100% passionate about this, as well as something that the public enjoy and that somehow makes money, then you struck gold. This is exactly what we want. Because what we don't want, none of us creatives, is do a job for the money so that we can afford the creative things that we really want to do. But often we don't have a choice, so it's a tricky one. Or a TARDIS, exactly, Michael. Right, exactly. And the editors and proofreaders, today, I suppose you as a writer, if you do this whole thing business-wise yourself, I suppose you have to hire these people freelance, right? I mean, are they even available freelance? Is that something that exists? Freelance proofreader / editor? This is already difficult, because if I do this sounds like exciting, but then I can't push that lock over here now. I can go over it, but I can't actually put it in here. This is easy. We'll explore that in a minute. This is like this is one of those complicated islands. Let me start again from scratch here. So I can either do this or not. I can just go and walk past it. This probably goes this way. I'm sure there's a trick to this. If I push this lock over here, yes, that's not how you do it. Let's go back. This way, maybe that way. Could that be? No, that's also not the way. So there's another trick. I don't know if they're going to show us this right now, but there is a way that you can put two logs together in the water and then turn them into a little raft. So I don't know if we're going to see this now. Let me see if I can show you this. Also, I don't know if this is the solution, just the mechanic. If you do this, if you put two logs into the water on the same spot, then this becomes a raft. And if you push yourself up against a rock, you could sail across and traverse quite large distances. Or you can sit down and just enjoy the view. Well, I'll come back to this. Oh, I see. So those people, yes, of course, I can imagine that a fringe industry like that would have people for hire like that. How exciting! Oh, thank you, Brian. Holidaying humans like to send pictures they didn't take to people they didn't like, claiming that they wished those other humans were present. Nota bene. Please do not put this exhibit in the monster post. Replica holiday lies are available in the gift shop. Dorel, how are you today? Top of the morning, sweetie. Welcome to a monsters expedition through a series of puzzling exhibitions. That's a handful of a title. How are we going to get to the next island? How do we... This is all very complicated already. I remember doing this, but I don't remember it being quite that difficult. Oh yeah, this is also something I wanted to show you. This is a mailbox. This is what the traditional... This has been made... You can tell this has been made in the UK, this game. This is what the traditional British mailboxes used to look like. You can jump in and then you can travel to any of the other mailboxes in the world. So this is a huge, huge open world. And as I said, about 500 islands to explore. And it shows you these little feet here. And that means this is where the story continues. This is where you need to keep going. This is kind of the next puzzle that you need to solve. But as we explore more parts of the world, we can go and travel to other places here. Wasn't there another island that was perchance a tiny bit easier to solve before we went over here? Monster backpacks. Oh yes, over here. Aha. Certificate of Excellence. Okay, this isn't a human object, but we won a Monster Travel Award for the museum. Look, there's a trophy too, except we sort of knocked it over and now there's a bit missing, so it's in the mending cupboard at head office. But the certificate is great. Yes, excellent. So, I don't know what to do here. Oh yeah, I know. I think I know. Knock it over here. And then do this. Then go to the next island. Post yourself to China. How exciting. Dorel, and I need all the help we can get. So I've only just started. You haven't missed much. But the tricky part is you don't want to knock the trees over into somewhere that you can't move them. So if I move this tree down now, all I can really do with this tree is move it to the left, and I don't want to do that because it doesn't do anything there. But that's it. If I move it this direction, that's all I can do with the tree. So if I go back, then I can also think I can do this. That might work better for me. But does it though? Yes, I can hop on top of the log and then knock it over here. So now I can go and pop it over here. Haha! How exciting! Alan Hazelden was involved in this. There's 3 other people as well. And I think it's through something called Draknek and Friends. Let's see. Yes, yes. Does it? Yes. Look at that. Then that goes over here. Aha! Ooh, look at that! Ha! I'm proud of this. This is nice. What does this say? Queue here sign. Humans from Englandland loved to queue. And from all over Europe, I take it. We don't know exactly why, but monster experts speculate that standing outside for long periods of time is why these humans developed such a close interest in what the weather was doing. Oh dear. It's like Super Mario Tetris. Yes, with the cuteness level cranked up to 11. That's exactly right. Oh wow! So you weighed yourself for that? That is very cool, Brian. I don't think we ever did that. I think our most amount of fun that we had... Ah, I see, this is interesting. So sometimes you reach islands from another area. Interesting. The most amount of fun we had was go to the Apple website and put the most expensive configurations of Macs and then have multiple of them, put them in the shopping cart until it was like, I don't know, 6 digits, and see when it was going to break the web interface. I mean, who's going to order 15 Mac Pros in the top configuration? I guess we did. Oh, we didn't pay for them, but the shopping cart didn't break, which is kind of nice. What we're going to do with this disaster here, I can't really push any of these trees over so that I can get on. Maybe I can. No, I can't. See, that this is the problem. This tree here, I need to push from the top, and there's really nothing above it, so I can't push it down so I can roll the tree over here. That doesn't work. This tree down here, I can't push up either. I can only push him left and right, so I could do this, I suppose. And then, yes, and then walk over here. Push this tree over here, yes. That might work. I mean, does it? Now what? Damn you, tree! Monster agrees. Oh, did you? Oh dear. Yes, the fun we used to have when it was a slow day at the office. So I'm thinking, if I go and take this tree, if it was possible to pull it down, I could roll it over. It would go and roll all the way over this tree, but it would angle up to the top. And I think then I could just walk over to the next island. How am I going to do that? Well, I suppose I could do this. Aha, yes, that. Is that possible? Yes. Could it be? This is where this raft mechanic comes in. So these two things, they just, I don't know where the string comes from, but they just go and, turn into a little platform. And that now allows me to go over here. All right. Ooh, how exciting. As the islands get more difficult, and remember, this is still just the tutorial, this is still the introduction. What are we going to do now? Maybe that. Oops, sorry. Now what? And that might not have been my best idea to do that. Well, I suppose I have to. I suppose we need to go to the top. I go over there. Could it be that? No. That's not it. Could it be? Could it be that? Could it? Maybe. Is it? No. I'm thinking perhaps. That doesn't work. Oh! Sid! Howdy ho! Good to see you, sir. Do you have any ideas? Do let me know. There's no clues or solution in this game either, so there's no magic button you can press that will show you how to solve a particular level. This is just down to thinking and trying again. So if I go knock this over, that's really the only chance I have with either of these trees. I can only knock them to the left. And my only option is really making a decision, is it the top one first or the bottom one first? So with the bottom one first, I can at least walk around. Well, I suppose I could do this. Yeah, but then... yeah, that's not good. I suppose I could do this. Is that good? I can't tell. No, that's not good. Oh, I could potentially go to the bottom island and ignore the top island. That's a possibility. See if I can use my magic raft action again, just like doing this. Yeah, that might work with the magic stringy-majig again. Right. So that's interesting. I don't go to the top island via this route at all. That's a ruse. Or maybe you can, but I don't know how. What do we have here? Stanchion and ropes. This is another human museum magic trick. If you put little metal poles around an exhibit, visitors will still get too close and prod it, but if you connect the poles using velvet ropes, an invisible wall pops up and the exhibits are safe. They're making fun of us, aren't they? These monsters. You don't understand. Ooh, this is a white tree. I don't think I've seen these before. Cute. Different tree. Oh, the texture's missing. I don't know. Like either one of these things. Probably just the texture. Nothing to worry about. It's all good. Wow. Yeah, indeed. This is a very, very cute game. This, I'm thinking, this is probably also one that needs us to do this as well as... no, that wasn't it. Maybe this way. I think this is one of those raft tricks again. Yes, look at that. Magic rope and... haha! A windmill! Can we see the windmill? So we're not allowed to go to the windmill. Just yet. Maybe in the future. What's this? Plaque! The most recent human museum trick that monster experts have discovered is plaques. Any information on a plaque felt truthier to humans, even if it was just a guess. Researchers are still trying to determine if the same is true for monsters. Oh, Dragonate and Mom! Dragonate's mom. Very good to see you both. Hello, hello. Wonderful to see you. Good morning to Canada. Very nice. Nate, have you seen this game? This wasn't exactly free on Epic, but I think I picked it up for $2.99, and I thought this was seriously cute. I bought the other one as well, the one with the snowman. Very similar mechanics. You roll snowballs, and as you roll them through the snow, they get larger, and you can only put a medium-sized ball onto a large ball and a small ball onto a medium-sized ball. It's just as tricky, and that's, I think, one of the games they developed before this. Similar mechanic. How do you come up with puzzles like that? Crazy. So we can only really go this way. We can't go past it. We can only do this. It's the only thing we can do. But then what? Either we put this guy in here. Oh yeah, of course. And then we do this maybe. Little magic raft again. Perfect. And then... Right. That wasn't... Was that... Oh, yeah, perfect. No. Yes, it was. Just don't walk too fast. Too far. Go over here, then push this over here. Yes, I get it. And then... So, this is interesting. You'd think I can just go push this tree over to the top, but watch what happens. Because I'm on a raft, I'm gonna go sailing. And that is also how we end up on other islands. Look, there's a lighthouse! Ooh, lighthouse! I think that's the end of the tutorial. Woohoo! Welcome to the game. 49 minutes in, and now we're starting with the title sequence. That is cool. Music by Eli Rainsbury, by the way. She made music for Jetstream, Wilmot's Warehouse, and a bunch of other very, very cool things. Right. Where to next, gents and ladies? Oh, another raft, perhaps. I'm thinking, right? Let's do this. Another raft. Travel to another island. Just like pirates. Very cool. Yes, indeed, Michael. I'm very happy about this. I didn't bring my umbrella. I mean, I don't know if it's in my backpack. But it looks like it started raining. There's a massive something here. Whatever that is. Looks like a fun ride or something. So yeah, these black rocks, I suppose they are also... They might... Maybe we'll go there. Let's try. This way, perhaps. Yes, look at that. It's raft season. Let's just hope they don't fall over and topple. Aha! And now I can go back and forth. This is fun. Let's not... Oh, he's sitting down. He's tired already. That is just so cute. I think cute little animations like that really make it. I think, don't you find that there's a real influx of games that go back to what video games were a little bit like in the 80s? Much simpler graphics and much just do more with less, essentially. So don't spend all your resources on making extra superhuman, mega realistic bits and pieces. Just make it cute and super simple and low res, low poly, and put a lot of substance into the game itself, so you don't blast through hundreds of people's of work within 10 seconds like you do in a Hollywood movie, where they basically shoot a 10-second scene over the course of a week. It just goes through and people hardly notice it. It's now, I suppose now that development teams are getting smaller again, with indie developers doing their own thing, following their passion, what we were talking about earlier. Pong, maybe that's going too far a little bit. But I really get that sensation that there's a lot of low poly type games that focus on cute little simplistic mechanics. And they're sometimes better than the so-called AAA titles, which are now no longer AAA titles. Cyberpunk. Human storage rack. The hooked protrusions on this wall suggest it performed a similar function to the familiar human code rack. But instead of collecting codes, it allowed users to store multiple humans without them getting crumpled or wrinkled. I don't know where you guys get your information from, but that's just not true. We never had racks like that. It's a climbing wall, isn't it? Oh, inflatable flamingos and all that. I think so too, Nate. I think so too. That just makes the games nicer. Some games. I mean, some games, you know, it's super difficult to develop games for anyone, no matter if it's a large or a small team, I guess. Even more difficult for those of us who think, hey, Unreal Engine is free, let me make a game. Yeah, that might... Good luck with it. But it is possible. I think that's so cool about this. We can have a hobby doing this and just have fun along the ride. And I think this is really what brings me back to our earlier point, following our passion. I think this is what really comes across. This is what what really shines with people. If you're passionate about something and you keep doing that, I think this is what people connect with just as much as the subject matter itself. I think it's the person having that kind of connection to what they're excited about. I think that is what humans connect with. I think this is what we all want to connect with. Inflatable flamingo. Not much is known about how this species of buoyant plastic waterfowl evolved in England. Have they though? Our best guess is that traditional feathered flamingos got fed up with standing on one leg and decided to adopt extreme flotation techniques instead. Do you know, that's exactly how it happened, monsters. That is exactly how it happened. Yes. Where to next? Is this the island we're supposed to reach? Is it this one at the top? Maybe we'll go to the top and maybe come back. How's that? Let's do that. Can we? Can we though? Let's backtrack. Yes, we can. So this little flotation thing, right? I'm thinking. Aha. Aha. Has it helped us though? I'm not entirely sure. We're still on the same island and we still don't know how to put this tree over. Whoops. How to put this tree over here. If I do this, then that's not going to stop. So that's not what I need to do. If I do that, we're not really getting anywhere. If I do that, oh yeah, that might work. Oh yes. Oh yes. Hiya! Another mailbox from England. It's been tough getting here already, I gotta tell you. Now what? We could try this tree over to here. That sounds reasonable, right? But then... yeah, that's not gonna work, is it? I'm exhausted already. Yeah, let me go and put my feet in the water here. This is the cutest thing. Partly I picked this game because I don't know if we're going to encounter it. If you've seen it in the holding loop, there is a coffee station and sometimes he can go there. I don't know where they are, but I'm sure we're going to come across it. He can grab himself a coffee and just go, drinks coffee. That's so cute. I think there's also one where he can have popcorn. It is so cute. Very nice. How are we going to go over to that island? You'd have to go... The tree needs to stand there. Can't be at the top here because it'll go against the rocks, so can't be that. It has to be at the bottom. How do we get it there? This is tricky. If you have any ideas, please let me know. Let's start the level again from scratch. So I'm thinking this is where that tree needs to stand, where the little monster is. And then we push it over to the right, and then we can go over to that island. But how are we going to make that happen with either of these trees? I wonder. So this tree here, this is a conundrum in itself. I move it over here, I can't move it anywhere else. Due to rock things, I can't reach it. If I go and put it over here, that doesn't really do anything for us, does it? And that's all I can do with this tree. Left can't be moved anymore. To the right, at least it can be moved into the water. Oh, and then it's a raft. That's how we do that. We don't actually go put the tree here and put it over there. We build a raft and then sail over. Ah ha ha! Thank you, Tuck, and thank you so much for your comment about the Animorph script. Welcome, by the way. That is exciting news. I want to hear what you've made with that. I'm really not into scripting. I know very little slash actually nothing about scripting in DAZ Studio. Tug was suggesting he has incorporated smart content into the Animorph script. That's the one that brings in OBJ sequences into DAZ Studio and turns them into a morph sequence. Very, very cool. There's somebody else on my Discord server has made a little code amendment that's currently on the GitHub repository if you want to check it out. He's added one functionality to it that first of all gets rid of the terrible colors in the beginning of the script, and then there's another thing that was that allowed you to pick a play range or starting position for the morph to begin. I think that's what he did, and that's currently on the master branch if you want to check that out. Yeah, but absolutely, let's talk. It's been a while since I've looked into this script, so yeah, I'd love updates. Loose change! This trove of cash was excavated from the velvety nooks and crannies of the seating at the Phoenix Movie Palace when the theater was refurbished in 2042. A total value of the coins at the time was just enough to cover the cost of 2 standard off-peak cinema tickets and a small popcorn. Yeah, it's inflation, monsters. It's inflation. Let's sail away. See where we go. See if we come across it. Ooh, diamond ring. See if we come across the coffee station. Oh my god, this is it. This is so cool, Nate. Watch this. This is so exciting. So you think it's an exhibit, but it is actually a coffee station. So grab yourself a coffee, everyone. Have a coffee with a monster. That is just so cool. I'm going to top mine up as well. You've seen a new coffee machine at Target. Open box, some Black & Decker jobby. It's an 8-cup machine. I'm thinking of getting it. It's an open box version, so I don't know if somebody has already made coffee in it or not. But it's $10 instead of 20, and it has some kind of exciting technology that instead of the coffee dripping into the filter, it kind of swirls it around before it drips in. That technology alone is fascinating enough for me. I should buy it. You're grinding yours now. How exciting! Hey, we'll wait for you. We'll let the monster have some coffee. So the other thing he does, and this is what I love about little cute animations like that. If you move him, he just goes and chucks the coffee cup away. But you can have another one. So that's cool. It's just, you know, littering and all that. I suppose monsters are not overly concerned with that. And he looks around and he's all happy about it. It's just so cool. And then when you move away, just go tune. Even monsters need some coffee every once in a while. Like, have another coffee. It's just so cute. I can't wait for you to see the popcorn machine. So nice. And enjoy your coffee, Nate. Is it going to be bulletproof, I wonder? Chucks it away, walks over. So this is the first time we're encountering these large trees with large locks. So now we have large trees and small trees. That is just, you know, a whole different mechanic here. What we got here? Leech-powered pen. Before humans harnessed the power of steam, they tried to harness the power of leeches. Yes, must have been before my time. I don't remember that chapter in our dark history of humanity. Instead of traditional cartridges, this leech-powered pen uses leech fed on blood-flavored ink. Leeches fed on blood-flavored ink. I haven't come across this. Whole new different mechanic here. So these locks, they can't be toppled over. They need to be moved one step at a time. And yeah, there comes a point where they can't be moved anymore. So I suppose that wasn't right. What else can we do then? Move it over here. Move it down. No, that wasn't good. Shouldn't have done that. Oh, they think ink is blood. That might be. Michael, clever. Absolutely, that's possible. Hey, 360 gigabytes of DAZ content. Wow. Don't install it all at once. Make sure you distribute it over various libraries so you can map them in and out if and when necessary. That is a serious amount of content, my friend. Congrats. I think that is the largest amount of content. I actually know DreamLab told me he has about 1 terabyte of content. Is that even possible? Woo! Well done, Michael. Awesome. Sounds like a lot of work. That is something I'll explain more about this in the season pass today later, in which how to organize certain things with keywords and all that. That's something that's a very underutilized area of the whole content library thing. What are we going to do with this? We can do that, and then just go over here. But how are we gonna look? I can do this. But that doesn't really get us anywhere. So pushing the tree down doesn't do it for us. Pushing the tree up, that might not do it either, because it doesn't, there's nothing that stops it from rolling left or right. No. So then to the right, that's really not doing it for us either. Has to be to here. Has to be. But then what do we do? Do we... Oh, I know. Push the tree... Actually, I think push the tree to the left, yes. But if I do it now, Neville, then this happens. So I think what I need is something that breaks it one step further down. And I think the way to do that is by going to the right first. Actually, and to the right again. And then going over here, and then moving it all the way to the left. Ah, see what we did there? Clever! Or get another raft. You know, that's a mechanic. I think they introduced that a little bit later, in which you have to grab... So if there's something to solve on this island, I'm short of a tree, you have to go over to the next island and grab a tree from there and kick it over via a log like this to that island, and then go and do that here. Ah. Thankfully we got away with it. Indeed. Oh, look at them go. They have 180-degree rotation, these logs. This is just so cute. You can get this on iOS devices as well. I think it's part of the Apple Arcade. And the iOS version is really nice as well. You just basically move him with your finger, and as you move him, it shows you where he would go. And when you let go, he goes and does this whole way for you. That's kind of cool as well. Very nice. Like here, I think we have a similar issue. Let's do this and that. No! Yes! I think so. And then we have to go push it from here. Yes! Ha-ha! Concrete birthday cake. Are you sure? A cadre of rebel bakers started making concrete cakes to protest the England cake industry's obsession with light and fluffy textures. The cakes became very popular as they could be rinsed clean of icing and reused for different occasions. This one was also doubled as an anchor. Yeah, concrete cakes? I don't think so. Oh, there's the lighthouse. This is nice. Lighthouse. At first glance, this appears to be a lighthouse. In fact, it is the Elysium of lure of a gigantic anglerfish. These predators outpaced their subaquatic food supply and learned to prey on human sailors by dangling their pulsing lure above the water. They're just making it up. They know nothing about us. They know nothing about us. Before we go further here by the lighthouse, was there an island that we've missed? I can't quite remember. Was there? There's a leech-powered ink island here. Oh, yeah, look at that. Ink. This, I remember there was something that we may have missed. What shall we do? Shall we go over to the right here, or shall we go back to where we just continued? What do you think? I don't even know if I can fix this here. It's, if we go do this, can we do that? Yes, we can. It's fairly easy to get over here. This way? Okay. Nate says this way. Let's do this thing. Yes. Let's go to the top, go right into this little notch here. But... ah, yes. Do that. Then do that. Haha. Oh my. I wonder if these islands link up in a moment. Yeah, you see, you'd think you'd do this, but then of course... oh, that works. Oh, good. Sometimes, if it quacks, it is a duck. Inflatable flamingo egg, unverified. Oh, I like it. This curious aerated egg is now thought to be part of the inflatable flamingo's reproductive cycle. Yes, of course it is. Why isn't it pink though? Well, that's just a nature thing, isn't it? The parent birds probably took turns encircling the egg with their rubber ring bodies, thus protecting and incubating it until an inflatable chick emerged. This is exactly how it happened. I've seen it happen. Right. Ah. Oh, is it? Ooh, really? I had no idea. Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. The main path is usually the right, sub-adventures to the left. Oh, I see. That's interesting. I see. Thank you so much. So we're technically now we're on the correct path, do you think? And this is now a sub-adventure. Oh dear. This didn't work. Let's go and let's try this again. So knocking that over here is not the answer. Knocking it over here is also not the answer. That, on the other hand, sounds like it might lead to success. It does as well. Good stuff. I never knew this. That is very interesting logic. Never knew about this. Oh, back in the Amiga days. Wow. I skipped that one. I went straight from the Commodore 64 to I had that for quite a while. I skipped the whole Amiga thing. I could never afford that. And then eventually I inherited an i386 from my mother's boyfriend that I used for ages until I finally upgraded. Oh, and now we're actually back. So haha, very interesting. I see this wasn't good because we can't board the log this way. Maybe that way? Could be. No! Oh! Dang, brother. That's cold. That's not the answer either. Because, you know, that's not going to get us anywhere. So then... could be this way. Yes, look at that. Looking promising. Like so. Haha. No! Ah! Now that's a rock in the way. Damn! I want to be Loris. Welcome. Fall tree to the right. Let's try that out. So fall tree to the right. Indeed, I thought that's a good idea. Then go like that. But now what do we do? So we need to make it so that it goes down one more step so that it falls into the second notch here, not the first one. So we need to go into here somehow. How are we going to do that? And the problem is I have nothing to stop it there. Or do I? Yes, like that. Yes, like that. Easy. Whew. Man, this is exhausting. I need another coffee station. So to the left, by your logic then, this is another subplot, and the main plot might continue at the mailbox. Hey, this is awesome. I never knew this. I'll have a look at this. Throughout the... Wow, this is our game world here. Not sure about the frame rate. That's what we've unlocked. So there's a lot more coming here. There's also other other biomes, I suppose you'd call them. Let's see how we get on. This here, very clever, but of course that's not the solution. So instead then, this could be good. That's one way of doing it. Ooh! A cream tea! Arguments over whether cream or jam should be applied to the scone first escalated during the 2500s. Really, I think it goes back much, much further than that. Tensions culminated in the cream tea conflicts between 2576 and 2578 when Devonian and Cornish zealots waged mid-afternoon warfare on a gingham battlefield. I don't think that happened. I don't think that happened. Fun fact, Julia and I had cream tea yesterday. Julia discovered a company called Parker's, I think Parker's, right? I think that's what it was. And she ordered a kind of they're based in the US, but they source British or British style made things. And she got us some Cornish pasties and some scones and some British bacon cuts. Very cool. And exciting boxes full of fish and chips, like proper chips that are steak cut, thick potatoes, cut fresh potatoes and then fried. Very, very good. Loving it. Yes, very nice. So this is a tricky one. I suppose, on one hand, me too. Can you get clotted cream in Canada, Nate? Because that's something I don't think I knew that before I came to Britain. Clotted cream. I don't think we have that in Germany. I mean, maybe nowadays, but not when I grew up. That wasn't something. Clotted cream. I don't think we clotted cream quite that much. Very good stuff. We get it at Whole Foods here, and I think you can also buy it from Amazon. And so this here will send me off to another journey, but I don't want to quite do that yet. I'll see if I can go over to this island somehow. I mean, this sounds an exciting puzzly adventure. How do we go over here? And is that how we do it? Maybe this is a ruse. Maybe this is just not the way we're supposed to go. I'm not sure. Yes, indeed, Tug. Absolutely. Good point. Great minds think alike. That's just internet stock control, is it? Yep, it's in stock. Really? Yeah, we just can't find it. I went to Best Buy once, checked the stock in our local store in Best Buy for some RAM or whatever. They had 3 available and it wasn't on the shelf, so I asked somebody and said, hey, it's apparently in stock here, three items. Oh yeah, it must be in the bag somewhere. Let me check. Half an hour later, yeah, we can't find it. What, somebody took it home? Stock control not working properly. Let me reset this. How would one go about doing this? There's really nothing that we can do with this tree other than put it left, put it to the top, or put it to the bottom. And neither of which really does what we needed it to do. I mean, I could try this and then try... Yes, possible. Maybe. Yes, look at that. The turd bags. That's I learned so many exciting new words from you, Nate. That's turd bags. I must make a note of that. Look at that, the split raft. So it's another interesting mechanic. You have one small lock and you combine it with a large rock, then the large lock splits, makes a raft and leaves this little thing in place. So now we have best of both worlds. Ha 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 ha. Very nice. Ha! Cool! Now, same thing here, I suppose. I wonder if this is also another sail away puzzle. If we do that... yes, we can't really do that. Even though that would make a raft, but I can't kick the tree from the left now. What I might be able to do is hike it over here. Yes, look at that. And then do this. That, what might happen now? Will it roll over? Or is it going to stop at the end of the water and turn into a raft? It rolls over. Okay, good. That's not what we want. Yes, that's a tricky one. Instead, what might the solution be? The large rock, yes, so these ones here, they're usually, like this guy here, you can push yourself off against them and then you sail over. The small rocks do that as well, the black rocks do that too. This is a tricky one, so could I then... It's almost like I need to do this first before I put that other tree in there. Or I need to make sure that this tree ends up not lying flat on the stump, but stands up on the stump. So I need to change the position. So then if I pop it in, then this is going to turn into a raft. But how would I do that? Because that didn't do it. How would we do that? I mean, the island is suspiciously large. I wonder if there's a way to just keep pushing it over like so. Yes. No. Could we? Yeah. I think I kind of had it here somehow. I saw there was a clue in here somewhere. Like this. No. That wasn't it either. Flip right, push up. Let me go back to where I thought it was a good idea here. Flip right and then push up. I'm back to this, and we don't want to be in that position. I just had it. I thought it was. This is the bloody YouTube delay. On Mixer, this would have been so cool. We could have really seen this signal. You could have seen the signal as I'm doing it. Let's try this again. So if we start from here, from this position, you're saying, let me go and do this again. Go around, push it against that tree, and then direct me. Maybe we can work this out. So like so, and I think this is kind of the key to splitting this this thing up. Now what do I do? Frustration level 10 plus. I thought so too at first, but now we go down. But now what do we do? That might not be what you meant. I thought that first. I thought that at first as well. I want to be Loris. I thought that as well. And it took me a while to get into it until I realized you really got to take it slow and think about it. And then you discover patterns like where you can roll things, eliminate things that make this impossible. And now I absolutely love it. Push left to make another raft. To here, you mean? You know, you have to put it, you have to push it in literally from here. So this is where I need to put the tree and then pop it in, then it makes a raft. That's how that works. So we need to somehow bring this guy on top of that. Somehow. But how we do that? Good thing is we do have another way out of here. Yeah, it needs to be literally on the top, and then it'll turn it into a raft. If you do this besides it, then that's not going to be a raft. But I don't know, there maybe, I'm thinking if we start again, sometimes what you have to do is do the same thing, but do it in a different order. But in this case, I don't think that's the case, because if we can't push this tree up to the top without pushing the large tree over first. So I think we probably have to do this first, otherwise we can't do that. And I think that's the only way we can really get this tree over here. Let me try something else. So this is another possibility, maybe. Is it? Is it? We could do that, but that makes the raft on the wrong side. So now I can't push myself off against the large rock. So, and one thing isn't enough for a flotation device. That's also not the right way. No worries, Michael. Thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate this. I think we might pick this up tomorrow morning. If you want to join us again for reorganizing your DAZ library. And yes, it totally is good brain exercise. There is actually an almost complete solution guide on the internet. T. Grazer made it. monsterexpedition.tgrazer.com. That has the solution to all these, many of these little things as a little GIF. So it's a very nice piece of web design he's done there. So we do this, then we do that. Then I'm sure we do this. And that is not what we do. So instead, maybe we can do that. Will that work? No, it's the same one. It hasn't broken that Rubik's Cube cycle. So let's see if we can do it differently. This way, then this way. Ahaha. See? Awesomeness! Haha! Broke the cycle. Raft. Exciting. And you know what fascinates me most is that even though I've done this before, I couldn't remember the solution. So this is one of those fascinating things. This is how my brain works. It just, you work it out and you think, oh great, I've done it. And then do you remember it? No. You have to work it out next time you play it. It's crazy. Right, exactly. And this is exactly why there's multiple play value in this as well. If I play this over again, I have to solve the same puzzle again because I don't quite remember the solution. It's nice to know there was one, even though you don't remember it, and that's kind of nice. So, hey, we've done it now. This is great, but we have two choices now. We can either go push ourselves off with the small raft, or we can use the large raft and push ourselves off from the cream tea island. I'll leave it up to you. What shall we do? Shall we do the cream tea with the large raft, or shall we do the small raft push off? According to your earlier observation there, it may be that the large raft is the main puzzle path and the small one is the side path. I think eventually we're going to have to go back to these places that we haven't explored and then go back there and do both things to literally reach all the islands. Have some more cream tea. Dragonette says large one. Large raft. I'm thinking that as well. Should we do the large raft? It's just that we need to remember Cream Tea Island. There's another raft to explore. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They basically, as long as they don't hit anything, eventually we'll hit something like a new island or another rock, and then yeah, so they don't, travel distance doesn't come into it. Maybe the large one. And then Cream Tea Island, just to remember where is the nearest post box here, so in case we want to go back here and do this other thing. That's by the lighthouse. So lighthouse, there's another raft. Oh yeah, see what the lighthouse, what the post box says. Post box reckons the feet are at the large raft. So that's, I think that's the only direction that the game gives us, that that's where the main path, I guess, continues. So we could do that. Let's go the main path and just remember that by the lighthouse there's another raft that we haven't taken yet. Also with these rafts, when you reach the destination, it's not always guaranteed that you can go back. So sometimes you can, but unless you land in a correct place that has another rock that you can push yourself back against, that might not be guaranteed. So I might literally be ending up on a location that doesn't allow me to go back. Ah, it's so nice and relaxing, isn't it? Hey, there we go. Yeah, like here, I can't go straight back up, but I can go now to the right and then to the bottom with these rocks here. Very cool. pile of books. Let's have a look here. What's going down? Unread books. To ease their collective angst, humans held an I want to be the kind of person who reads this, but it turns out I'm not and I feel bad book amnesty in 2025. And that's quite soon. I'm looking forward to that movement already. The I want to be the kind of person who reads this, but it turns out I'm not and I feel bad book amnesty in 2025. I like it. The move freed up 9.38 square kilometers of bedside table surface space. Hey, I like it. So large raft was final indeed. And then it looks like this little rock here at the bottom, that's probably for another raft that will land here somehow, or maybe lands here and then we go further over there. Looks like a little stop-off island, so let's go over here, see where else the large raft takes us. How exciting! Woohoo! Nice. Pine trees now. This peculiar ornate laundry rack features a surprising number of moving parts. Once or twice per year, a human would clear away the clothing and sit on the contraption, pedaling furiously. Presumably this reactivated the rack's storage power as laundry would soon start to reappear. That's exactly how it worked. It's cute, isn't it? And they've made it possible, so on iOS and on Apple TV this looks slightly less amazing, but the core gist of it with the water effects, that's all still there, including the cloud movement. It's just you can see on the lower powered devices that it, where the extra layers of fiddly bits come in. It's very, very nicely done. I think this was made in Unity. Yes, that's not gonna get us anywhere, is it? Maybe, hey, sometimes it's easier than we think. Cool. Woohoo! I'm sure, yes. And I do remember I used to have like an exercise bike back in London, and it turned out to be a bit of a clothing storage rack. Certainly for drying off laundry. Because what else are you going to do with it? It's a good bike though. And then eventually I just got a bike because that was the better solution. Yeah, South London that was, mate. Let's try a hand at this little puzzle here. So I'm thinking use this tree as a... No, I can't. Dang! I thought come down with this tree and knock it against this, but then I forgot I can't actually go behind it, so that's not how we do that. This tree, this is difficult. This tree against that, that's not getting us anywhere. But this tree against that, it's also not going to work because I can't push it from the other direction. Dang! And then this tree here has the same problem as that. I don't think we can climb on the rocks yet. That is also possible in the later parts of the game, that you have to walk over the rocks, but you have to go on top of the rocks with the help of trees. So that's difficult. Let's go back. So maybe then, maybe roll this tree into a position that won't let us do anything, but then utilize this tree. Aha! Over here. Another solution. But you can easily see how these things get much more tricky. So all of a sudden they're introducing these things that are now not so much decoy trees, but you have to put them into a position to help another tree get into position. Interesting. What we got here? Jammy biscuits. Don't we love them? Do we have jammy Dodgers over here, Brian, in the US? I mean, they are amazing. They are biscuits, sandwiched biscuits, usually with a hole at the top, and then the stickiest kind of jam in the middle that sticks to your teeth like caramel would. I don't know why they do it. Do we have that here in America? All of the preserved human snacks we have unearthed, monster experts are fondest of jammy biscuits. Apparently they love the aesthetic of a ruby gem against golden shortbread and stress that experts have not been nibbling the exhibits. Yeah, that's good to know. I think Jaffa cakes are only... I think I prefer Jaffa cakes over jammy biscuits. Jammy Dodgers. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic, Brian. Con imaginación. Good morning, sir. How you doing? Oxygen not included. You know, I've heard of it. I may even have it. Oxygen not included. Do I have it? Let's have a look. Oxygen not included. Let us have a look in my games library. Oxygen not included. Or just oxygen is probably going to be enough to... No, I don't have it, but I have heard of it. I have heard of it. I may have thought of buying it at one point, but I haven't yet. Is it? Do you recommend it? You just bought it on Steam. How exciting! It's. I'll look it up. Thank you for the tip. Sometimes I have a feeling this is how games work these days. There's so many that are being sold to you in sales newsletters and all that, and whenever I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking, no, I don't want to try that. That's not up my alley. I don't know. Maybe I'm too complicated as I get older. This is not how we do this, is it? But I find it very hard these days to find games that I actually enjoy. I mean, many games, like many of the freebies that you get, I try them and I'm thinking, it's not really up my alley. Yeah, you see, this is interesting. And we just leave that tree over there and then use that to go over that island. Interesting, and this tree just lurks around here, doesn't do anything. Interesting. Right. I'll have a look at Trader Joe's next if they have them. So Jaffa cakes, they're a favorite in Germany as well. And I remember both Lidl and Aldi used to have them, so it may be possible that Trader Joe's has Jaffa cakes as well. They're actually cakes. Interestingly, why are they cakes? Why are they not classed as biscuits? Because so it has all kinds of tax implications, at least in the UK. In the UK, you've got VAT, which is the sales tax, and it is applied to some items, but it isn't applied to all items. Much like in the US sales tax on some things like milk and eggs you can buy and there's no tax on it, but then you buy something like a cake and there's tax on it. And the idea is that some are essential items that the government doesn't tax, and then other items are luxury items that you could live without, so they are taxed because, you know, why not indeed? And Jaffa cakes are taxed, and biscuits are not, because biscuits are kind of classed as something that is not a luxury item, that you have to have it with your tea. But cakes you don't have to have with your tea, I think. And there was a big discussion about, aren't Jaffa cakes really biscuits because they're sold alongside other biscuits? And I think the government or whoever came up with this clever explanation that no, a cake is something that is soft when it's fresh and it turns hard as it goes stale, whereas biscuits are the opposite. They turn out hard, and as you leave them they turn soft, and eventually they're no longer good. And so they applied this logic to the Jaffa cakes and said, no, they are soft when you start eating them, and when you leave them in the biscuit tin for a while, which would never happen, then they turn hard. Crazy. Good to know, con imaginación. I will have a look at that. Oxygen not included. Ah, new mailbox. Awesome. Awesome. Where do we continue from here? Oh, right here. We're in exactly the right spot. Mustn't forget, somewhere we have another little raft that we should have a look at one point. And we could travel back there and try the little raft path, but we'll do that later. We're on a roll here, man. We're on a roll. Where to next? It is, isn't it? I remember also they taxed, and this was only in the UK, not in the US, so I haven't actually heard this story. And this is many years ago. Subway got into trouble for that as well, because essentially, and this is how the crazy tax logic works, a sandwich or a sub, if it's cold, there's no tax on that, because hey, that's just a sandwich. But as soon as you toast it, they have to apply VAT on it, because now it's a warm meal or something rather than a cold sandwich. So cold sandwich, that's a necessity. People have to have that. As soon as the same thing is warm, it needs to have tax applied, because now all of a sudden it's a meal. That is a luxury meal. And you think, what? No. And so the HMRC came up with that idea and said, yeah, we've just worked that out, and because Subway, you've been doing this for the last 10 years, we need £9.7 billion from you in back taxes. And they said, I don't think so, because of course Subway, to make their product cheaper, have never taxed anyone for sandwiches, because sandwiches are not taxing. So oh my God, what? Yes, I had to leave the country in the end. It just didn't work for me. It wasn't quite the reason, but hey, crazy, isn't it? Oh, right. So is there a difference between that as well, Brian? Is there tax on fruit but not on vegetables? Is that how it works? I suppose here in the UK, here in the US, it's even more complicated, as every state can make up their own taxation rules. Crazy stuff. Yes, Amazon for the longest time here in Florida have not taxed us. Then they started putting warehouses into Florida, so before that things would have been shipped out in from out of state, and as such, if I buy something in a different state, there's no tax on it. But if I buy something in Florida, then there's tax on it. So now the tax has started creeping in. Anything that ships from Florida has tax on it. Anything that ships from out of Florida does not have tax on it. And now they said, okay, fine, everything has tax on it, says the government. I think they want to make it a little bit more transparent. We all have a good tax dodge every once in a while. Let's try this. Do we? No, that's not good. Ay, caramba, no, that's not good. Let's not do that. That wasn't good. How do we do this? That could be. No, that wasn't good either. Let's not do that. Do we do this in order to get to the bottom of that? We do not, because then what do we do with this? This is a tricky one. Right, fruit are luxury items, and then vegetables are not. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Let's try this then. Does it do anything for us? Not as such, no. Does it work if we... No, we can't actually. I was thinking, what happens if we move that tree over here? But that's not going to be good for us either. I could potentially move that tree over here. Is that a good idea? Sorry. And then do this. And then I have an option to chuck that over here. But then it's also the wrong way. I suppose if I wanted to put the large tree over that way to get to that island, I suppose I'd have to go do this. But this is a tricky one. Or we do that. And maybe this. Is that how we do it? No, that's not how we do it. Do we do this? Yeah, but then how do we push that tree over to here now? There's also that we can do. I don't know, does that get us anywhere? It doesn't, does it? Very tricky. How are we going to do this? There's this as well. That's an option. But it doesn't get us anywhere. So this tree, the large tree, I'm thinking that should probably go here. and then just go lie flat. That gets us onto this island. The small tree, I would imagine, goes here, and that gets us on the small island, or on the bottom island. But then maybe we don't reach one of these islands. Maybe our task is reach one of these islands, not both. So maybe we don't need to reach the left one and the bottom one with only 2 trees. Maybe 2 trees are used just to get us to the bottom. That's a possibility. As such, how we do that? Big tree to the right, then down, then right. Use a small tree as a stop. Let me see if I can follow that logic. Big tree to the right, check. Then down, then right. Use the other tree as a stop. But yeah, you see, this is the problem. How do I use the small tree as a stop? Because this is the only way that lets me put the tree over there. But it'll roll off over here. I like the idea in principle. Then I can't move it just to the right because there's no way I can go onto the water and push the tree from here. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Could we... Is there a possibility to use the large tree to put it now to the, essentially, to the left of this, so that I can kind of board the large tree somehow, and then push the small tree over to the right, make him stop here, and then push him down? That at least would get me to the other island. But how do I push the large tree in position that way? That might work. That's where it falls apart. Down from the top, yes, I can do that. I can go and push, whoops, sorry, push it down, and then it would stop here. I'm thinking, if I do this, right, and then go try that, maybe we just do that. No! Dang! Brother, that's cold. I mean, now I can go on here, but it's not in the right position. So that's also where that falls apart. That was not correct. But I like the idea of putting into our thinking, use one island or the other rather than try to go to both islands. The top tree to the right, and then no, I can't, because I can't push it. I can do this, then it'll end up here, or I can do that. So really what I somehow need is have this tree stop him here. If I can push this tree to the right and then stop him, just stop the large log in this position, that would be it. But I can't nudge it from here, so he doesn't nudge it, he just wants to go on top of it. Top tree down, then push right. Top tree down, then push right. Yes, then use little tree. Yes, Tug, that is the solution. That is exactly the solution. That is exactly how we do that. And then large tree stops little tree, and now case closed. Thank you, Tug. Very good. Very, very good. Now we have some sugar flakes. Baron Bonbon's sugar flakes. Baron Bonbons was a short-lived breakfast cereal. I don't recall him. Its popularity was attributed to a combination of super dense sugar and 57 different highly unstable and very experimental food colorings. After a particularly bloody intervention by a consumer watchdog, it was given a new recipe and rebranded as Fiber Flakes for sensible children. Yeah, that probably went really well. This is what I love about these types of games. We have a problem, we try to solve it together. This is seriously cool. I love it. Hey, I remember in the Mixer days, this was great with the immediate interaction. That was really cool. There's a company, well, a little startup called Glimesh.tv. They brought this back, the same protocol that will instantly transfer this image to your end. It's a bit unstable from my end, sadly, so it doesn't work for me. I've tried it. They're starting out now, and yeah, maybe one day we can use that. Too much Tetris, yes, absolutely. I can totally agree with that. Come on. Well, I'm thinking this down. Easy, he says. And then is this a raft session again? Like so. Technically, actually before we do that, put this guy over to here, right? Stop him here. As do that. That wasn't great, was it? Because now what am I going to do with this? Not a raft. Not how we do that. Let's try again. Yes, I'm thinking raft and then go push ourselves off from the large rock, from the black rock, either to the left or to the bottom. Probably to the left, I'm thinking. Baron Bonbon's Sugar Flakes. So that's not the right way to do it. It has to be this way. Unless we try that way. No, but you can't stop it that way. It's gotta be this way. Gotta be that way, and then find a way to stop this guy. Perhaps, and not like that. Perhaps like that. But then how would we... What else would we do with this? Maybe that's not it either. Baron Bonbon's Sugar Flakes. Any ideas? Something to stop it doing things. What happens if we go... We can't do this, can we? That's just gonna make this guy go over here. Nah, not what we want. This guy over here, that's not the solution either. So this has to be, this is the obvious way. This to stop that tree there, and then what? First tree knock right, push down. I'm with you, Brian, exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Sorry, Nate, you had the same color there, sorry. Very similar icon with my old eyes, I can just barely decipher it. This is kind of nice on Twitch that we can have different username colors, that's quite nice. Maybe they're going to introduce that in the near future. Hey, there's a new thing coming in YouTube. It's a new feature that hopefully I'm going to unlock towards the end of the year. It used to be called Viewer Applause. They've just renamed it into Super Thanks. So it's like the Super Chat and the Super Stickers, but it's not just for live streams. It's something that can happen on uploaded videos now as well. Super Thanks it's called, and it'll be a one-off donation that you can make on pre-recorded videos when enabled. That's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And then your comment in the comment thread below will be somehow highlighted. Very interesting. All these new features that YouTube come up with. I really like that. Very nice. So how about we put this guy over here then? That's another idea. We just go do this, then chuck him in here. Ha ha ha. Then we go and put you in here. Raftness! All right. Do you know, that would be good. I have a feeling YouTube are saying, hey, look, we know people go to platforms like Patreon and Ko-fi and all these other off-platform destinations where technically these services could be cashing in on the donation of whatever people want to make. Why don't we just integrate that into YouTube? I have a feeling that is what it is. They've done that with channel memberships already, and make it easy for people like the Star Crew members with a little star in the chat to make monthly ongoing donations on YouTube channels, but one-off donations, I don't think they've tackled that yet, and I think this is their way of doing that, because why not indeed? All right, let's sail away. Have we solved all the puzzles there? Totally forgot to check. I think it was. I think we have. Yes, super thanks. It's been renamed from viewer applause into super thanks. It'll be exciting. I'll let you know when I have it. It'd be really good to experiment with that. Especially for older evergreen videos that get thousands of views every month. It'd be really good to have a way of people saying, hey, that was a really valuable tip. These services, I think they're extremely important, because this is how us creators will eventually earn a living. I think partly from many avenues, but this is an important avenue, which is why I'm so in favor of things like Patreon and Ko-fi, especially Ko-fi, the stuff that they've been making happen over the last few, well, months only. Very nice. There is, I think, only when you're next to, only when you're here, when you're on a mailbox. I think you can't bring this map up any other way. But it's a good point. Yes, let's check. Have we done it all? Yeah, there was another island going to the left that we haven't looked at, the one underneath the storage rack. So we could always go back, since we do have a platform here. We might do that actually before we tackle this side. I'd like to maybe have a look if we can, because there's this one island with the 2 trees on it. We haven't had a look at that. Probably the too difficult island. There is that. You know, you're not wrong, Nate. It depends on how people buy super chats and all these things. If you do it on the web interface in a web browser, YouTube take 30%. Us creators end up with 70%. If you do it with iOS or Android app, then Apple and Google take 30% of that, leaving 70%, of which YouTube then give you, I think, about 50% of it. Yeah, 50% of what's left over. I think, oh no, actually 70% of what's left over, which is then 50% of what you donate. So if you do this on a mobile app, iOS or Android, the Google and Apple stores will take a cut first, and then whatever's left, which is then 70% of that, YouTube take another 30%, because that's YouTube, not Google. So hey, that's the logic in that. So yes, hence I'm still in favor of any donations. Ko-fi is your place. That's the way to do it. Ko-fi don't take a fee at all. So yes, it's interesting. It's very interesting. So Nate has a point. That is how it works. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go. Let's leave it. Let's leave that for tomorrow. I say let's leave it here and come back to this tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll do a little bit more of the wonderful Monsters Expedition. And we can either go back there or we can continue the way here. But yes, that is the plan. It's nearly 12 o'clock. Let's do this, my friends. It was wonderful to see you. I'm doing that season pass for DAZ later at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll drop a link in the channel if you want to buy this. It's going to be a series of 3 DAZ kind of tutorials. We're building a pirate scene, and I'll show you how to build your own library, how to compartmentalize your scene, how to make your own billboards. It's going to be very, very exciting. That starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My friends, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow, this time, same place. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.